Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Dech Teck. I am Dal, and today I'm going to go over my list for Toxrill the Corrosive. Now, as soon as this card was spoiled, I knew I wanted to build a deck, and it did, but I tell you, it was miserable for my friends to play against, and in a way, it was miserable for me to play, because no one was really having fun when I played this, so I decided to do a Dech Teck and then take it apart. I have a more interesting deck that I want to build that's blue-black, so I'm going to use most of it to build into that. And I think I'm going to keep him in another one of my decks, or her, it. I just want to show off. I have this cool proxy of it that I'm going to put in a little stand while I talk about the rest of the deck. So the light doesn't reflect off it. Now, my game plan for this deck was play a bunch of ramp, a bunch of proliferate, and a bunch of sack outlets. I think a lot of people play, of course, having blue in his counter spells, but if I remember right, I don't think I have any in this deck. I'm going to give you plenty of opportunity to ruin my day by countering my stuff and also destroying my stuff. But I have some evasion there, as you'll see. So, first chunk I want to go over, the biggest chunk, is the mana ramp. I want to be able to get Toxrill as fast as possible, and also, because I know it's going to get removed a lot, bring it back as much as possible. And I also want to sacrifice slugs to draw cards. So I guess I should have talked about what he does. Beginning of each end step, put a slime counter each creature you don't control. When I first built it, up to the first time I played it, each end step. So that gets disgusting way too fast. I thought it was my end step. And I actually, one of the first playthroughs I had, a friend actually just rage quit when they realized what was happening. These creatures get -1/-1 for each slime counter on them. And when a creature you don't control, the slime counter dies, get a 1/1 black slug creature token. And I have my slug tokens. I got these real nice arcade post ones, and some other slugs. But first chunk I want to talk about, the biggest chunk, is the mana ramp. So each time you remove them, you gotta be able to cast it again. So I didn't put this in any kind of order. I'm just gonna go through and just kind of talk about. So I like all these mana rocks. I guess I should say those mana rocks. But I also do have proxies in this deck, so don't judge me. And I feel like spending all the money on some of the cards that are proccing. I only have 2, but just wanted to say that up front. It's a victory chimes, little group hug. Maybe I'm trying to earn some favor from blowing up their stuff to make slugs. Commander Sphere. I like the coloring on this one, that's why I picked this art. Not so much as I think when I built this is the same year this one came out, but the purple kind of matched what I was going for. Mana Geode. We got Darksteel Ingot. We got Liquid Metal Torque. Phyrexian Altar. I can sacrifice my own slugs to make some mana, which is helpful most games. I should have put the Ashnod's Altar right after, but hey, live and learn. Star Compass. Got Worn Power Stone. One of the underrated mana rocks, in my opinion. You can tap for blue. It's really good in blue mono decks. You can tap it for blue, and you can also sacrifice it for blue if you really need it. But real pretty art, real interesting card. Not many people play it anymore. This is my experience, my playgroups. But Everflowing Chalice, sorry. With a lot of proliferate in this deck. Proliferate. Can't pronounce stuff today. This is really useful where get at least one counter on keep proliferating. One of my proxies, Grand Monolith. Again, don't really feel like spending that kind of money on this, but I like this little proxy. Actually, I think I do have one of these somewhere. I think I do have a legit copy. Ashnod's Altar, again, making the slugs, mana ramp. We got Mind Stone. Horizon Stone. I don't know how popular this card is. It's one of my favorite cards for this kind of format, where end of turns you can just dump your lands in there, especially ones that untap every turn. Have a little pool of colorless mana. It's nice in artifact decks like this. It's nice in other decks too. I used to play Crufix a lot, which also did the same idea. Any unspent mana turned colorless and never emptied, which is a lot of fun. Dimir Signet. Soul Ring. Sky Diamond. I got a I forgot what the black one's called. Coalition Relic. Again, great with Proliferate. So you're playing a Proliferate deck, highly recommend this card. Spectral Searchlight, Mana Rock, Prismatic Lens, Replicating Ring. Again, with Proliferate, it speeds it along a lot faster than you would think to make a bunch more Mana Rocks. Sisay's Ring. Charcoal Diamond, I couldn't think of the word. I was thinking Jet Diamond, I got something else. Thought Vessel, pretty good card to include because, you know, going to be drawing a lot of cards hopefully. Fireman Vessel, must include for most 2-color decks, at least 2-color decks. I always want to put this in mono because 2 mana for 4, not too bad, but you have to have 2 different colors. My favorite Mana Rocks, Mistbane Border Post. I think I've had this foil for a long time. It came out 2009, sounds about right. Around that, was it Conflux? I honestly forget. See, on this foil, it's one of my favorite Mana Rocks too. I don't really want to pick up on camera too well, but it sure gets foil. You can see the little swoop at the bottom. Another one of my favorite cards. 3-Hand Dynamo, Mana Ramp, Astral Cornucopia, again, Proliferating, Mana Ramp, Talisman of Dominance, and Arcane Signet. So get the idea with that chunk. As far as artifacts go, I was able to plan ahead and do this little chunk here. Proliferating. So Throne of Geth, got a lot of little Mana Rocks, so if I really need to, sacrifice one, proliferate. We have Contagion Clasp and Contagion Engine, both really good. I won't say engines, but you know what I mean. Proliferating is really good in this deck. I guess I should explain. You're proliferating your opponent's slime counters. It was just that earlier, but also your little stuff too. So I got a little bit of evasion. You got the boots. Looks like wearing some shoes. And the other utility artifacts, I guess we'll call them. Sensei's Divining Top, of course. Skull Clamp. Drawing some cards, your little slugs. You don't care if they die. And Strionic Resonator. Man, it's just like Brainbard so hard. So you can copy that beginning event step ability. I believe it says when, whenever, and at beginning of each. It doesn't, I guess at. Does that work? I don't think I've ever actually tried it, but put it in there with that plan. Never really got too far with it, but if I'm right, I think you can copy that ability and just put 2 counters on every creature, which is fun. You notice with my artifacts, I don't have Chroma Spell. I'm not that kind of monster. But I do have other stuff here that's pretty nasty. So I just want to say that for the record. Or Chroma Spell, right? I'll say it. So instants and sorceries. Diabolic, Tutor, Scheming, Symmetry, Beseech the Queen, Imperial Seal. Oh, I forgot this is a proxy too. Diabolic Intent, second little slug, Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor. Basically, get all my little combo pieces. I don't think anything here goes infinite, but it's nice to get the pieces I want out when I need them. Put this in here just for the proliferate, discontinuity. Pull this in the pack. I really like this ability, just to end a turn. Actually skips over his ability, but is what it is. A little dark ritual for mana. Don't have enough Cabal rituals, but that would have also went in there as well if I had extra. We got Deep Glow Skate, again for the proliferation. Flux Channeler, every non-creature spell proliferate, also very good. And then Yawgmoth. Pay 1 life, sacrifice on a creature, put a -1/-1 counter on up to 1 target creature, draw a card, also has ability for 2 black, discard a card, proliferate. This did a lot of work. This is, I think, one of the cards that made my one friend rage quit when we were playing this, so another reason why I'm taking it apart. Viral Drake, proliferate, only getting especially needed. This is also really good. I don't have any recursion. It's like a rarity for me, I know, but when I'm blowing up all my opponent's stuff, it's going to exile everything and make me little zombie tokens, again, for sacrificing and other shenanigans. If you're looking to play Toxrill, this is also a must-have. I don't know if you guys need to know that, but here we are. Enters battle for attack, put a slime counter on up to 1 other target creature. Not too bad. But non-horror creature with slime counters on them lose all abilities of base power, toughness 2. So you can kind of blank out the board, make them a lot smaller, This does work. Oh, I love this, where they have a really big creature and just make it. Nope, they're 2/2s. Oh, what's that? Now they're dead. I think enchantments is next. Phyrexian Arena. Black Market's also really good for my slugs dying, give me some more mana ramp. Again, mostly to recast Toxrill. You'd be surprised how often that gets targeted. We got a little Grave Pact and Dictate of Erebos. Again, making everyone else clean their board off of my slugs die. This is an old card that I keep trying to find a home for. See, it's nice foil, beautiful art. I haven't quite found the perfect home for it. This one did okay in this deck, but the mana cost to get it out and to be able to do it multiple times really was difficult to get. But you can see sacrifice permanent, return target permanent to its owner's hand. Usually it's returning my stuff to my hand or getting rid of like dangerous creatures coming at me. I really like this card. I really want to find a good home for it someday. Inexorable Tide, again proliferating, and I say I didn't have Cormer Spell, but also doesn't mean I have other little crumb on there, other shenanigans. If you're playing this kind of deck, this is a really good card. I had this for the longest time. Again, sort of like my Dispersing Orb. Try to find a home for it, and finally did in this deck where, as you can read, top card of the library in the graveyard. Then they put X 1/1 black minion creature tokens on the play, whereas that card's mana cost. So if they're not playing the many creatures, hey, I'm going to be real nice and give you some. But they're also going to get slime counters on it by the end of term, and then they're going to give me slugs at the end of term. A lot of fun. Up next are the lands. So we got Annihilator Proxy. I like the proxy cards. They don't look too dissimilar to what they're supposed to look like. I like to keep them separate, like my Imperial Seal. Obviously looked a lot closer to the card, but I had a different set symbol. I don't want anyone to get my stuff, or if I trade away or forget, if I get senile at some point. I don't know. Where are they going with that thought? I don't know. These are all my blue-black lands. Again, proxied for that because I don't feel like spending the money on that right now. Watery Grave, Drowned Catacomb, Command Tower, Feeded Pools, Searchable for Island and Swamp. Also, Cycling's pretty good. Morphic Pool's pretty good. I have a German, I forget what this, Tainted Isle. I really had to reach back for my German knowledge rather than my Magic knowledge because I do not remember what art that is. And Dark, I really don't know this Chinese. I gotta stop buying foreign cards, so I don't know. But it's a land, pay 1 of any color, tap it to make 2 mana, blue and black. Dark Hollow, something, I forget. Underground River, and Glimmer Void, and Spire of Industry. I don't have so many mana rocks. These were pretty easy to include in the deck because I should have enough artifacts for that to happen. On to utility lands. Reliquary Tower, of course. Drawing all those lands. Drawing all those cards, you want to have an infinite hand size. This one actually did pretty good. Usually targeting myself. If anyone wants to kill my Toxrill, I can throw it back into my hand real quick to avoid command attacks. Buried Ruin to return artifacts. We got your Proliferate land with Karn's Bastion. Got one of my favorite lands, Ancient Tomb, for mana ramp with Temple of False God. One of my least favorite lands. Then, of course, we got our search lands. We got Polluted Delta, search up all our duels. Bad River. Same thing, only comes in taps, so it's a little slower. Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, and Fabled Passage for our basics. Speaking of basics, we have swamps with a little slime in there. And islands. So, like I said, I was really excited. It was one of those cards that once spoiled, I knew I had to build a deck around. But then once I did, just realized how bad of a time I was going to have with the deck. Both with my friends not enjoying it, and me not really enjoying it. So, that being said, it's going to get taken apart and built into something else. What's it going to be built into? We'll have to stay tuned to find out, because that'll be a Dech Teck for another day. So until then, did you guys watch Too Many Cooks? Wait, do I have to explain the joke here? No, I'm not going to. What I will do is show you this code real quick. Whoever watched to the end, I appreciate you. There you go. I'm going to throw that in the garbage so it doesn't make it back into another video. Some people have been very mean about that, but what can you do? So, What do you think? Good, bad? I didn't like it. Did some work. I wouldn't say winning games because people scooped, but I guess you can still count it as a win. But did not have fun playing it, and I don't really care for blue black too much as far as commander choices, but I have one coming up I'm really excited for, and we'll see how that turns out. So until next time, love you.